We'll be back live in a couple of seconds when the feed actually hits Twitch.
So what did I get hit with again? Because I'm trying to remember.
A large metal pole that so when you saw the fire giant, I believe we're live now. When you saw the fire giant, it had been sort of slapping around a troll, and in its hand was a large pole of some sort of metal. It is right next to you if you'd like to investigate it.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Sure, give me an investigation roll.
Okay.
As the rest of you are sort of catching your breath around this downed fire giant.
13.
So, just sort of looking at the
great start.
Looking at the pole, it's definitely what you would determine it to be a rod more than a pole. It's 4 feet long. You sort of try to heft it. It's roughly 100 pounds or so. And it has 2 prongs at one end and a molded handle grip on the opposite end. And it looks to be you sense a faint magical aura to it as well, and it appears to be made out of adamantine.
All right. I will arcana that shit.
Okay.
Can I also take a look?
Sure.
I'm going to be looking around at the camp, seeing how long the giant's been here.
Sure. Go ahead. Give me investigation rolls for both of you.
8.
8 arcana.
Natural 1. Never mind. I don't have advantage on that.
See, for last week we thought maybe we had broken our curse. This week,
well, I don't have advantage, but I rolled the same thing. So,
so it looks like this giant had been around for a while. There's signs of a camp here based on the edge of the lake, and it looks like it had from the lack of food around, or the lack of remains of food, it looks like it was sending the trolls out to acquire food. And it doesn't look like it was too successful. That may have been why it was beating that troll to death. As for the Arcana rolls, Miracle, you have no idea. Kimvalar, the aura is familiar, but you can't quite put a finger on it. Maybe if you use some form of detect magic or take a short rest, you might be able to identify what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, because detect magic is not among those spells that I have. I'm pretty sure. Yes, that is correct. Do not have detect magic. Do not have identify. So
prepared or known at all?
Known. That's not normally my thing. But yeah, I will pick it up and heft it over my shoulder like a short staff, and perhaps
what's your strength?
13.
Okay, yeah, it's heavy. It's way heavier than you would normally use for a staff. You can carry it, but it's not.
Did you want to stick your little pole there in the bag of holding?
That's 100 pounds. It's 100-pound 4-foot metal pole.
Wizards of the Coast has forgotten that adamantine is supposed to actually be lighter, but okay, duly noted.
I have the description.
I understand. Like I said, not you have forgotten. Yeah. Wizards of the Coast has forgotten.
It does have again just regardless to reiterate the description. It does have 2 prongs on one end and a molded handle on the other.
Okay.
As he drags that back to the camp, he's looking. You gonna try swinging that thing around?
No.
He can carry it. It's not so heavy that he has to drag it. He can carry it, just not comfortable.
No, but it's one of those things that you carry 100 pounds in your arms. It's not something you're going to be tossing around. Did you want to put it in the bag of holding?
I mean, that was... I actually have my own of that. That's a good point. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So
you hoist it up, open the bag of holding.
Yep.
It suddenly weighs a lot less because it's no longer on display.
Right. So yeah, find a place perhaps not right where we killed a fire giant to take some time. Yeah.
Can we see what it would, besides,
I'm gonna actually probably look for tracks, see if there's other people that seem to traverse this area frequently beyond the giant.
Give me a survival check.
Four. Never mind.
You see big fucking giant feet, and you see lots of big troll feet, and
actually, I may have advantage.
You don't see much beyond that. Yeah, sure. If you have advantage, I don't know.
I just need to check because it's possible it's only when I'm traveling for multiple hours.
I don't know.
But giants are a favorite enemy for me.
The giant have any possessions that aren't, like giant sized, looking to see has it been collecting something?
No, the giant pretty much has armor and a great sword on it, and this rod. And those are the only things that it really carries on it. Carrying.
You have advantage on wisdom survival checks to track your favorite enemies, as well as intelligence checks to recall information about them.
Were you trying to track more giants or other people?
At other giants that might regularly traverse this area. I want to know if he has a friend who might be upset for him.
Yeah, so roll
that was
advantage.
the plan.
Yeah. 15. The only giant footprints here are the ones that belong to this particular fire giant. You're not seeing multiple sets of fire giant footprints or other giant footprints, really. The only trolls are kind of giant kin as well. That's pretty much the only other sets of footprints you're seeing are trolls.
Right. So there might be more trolls, but I don't think there's any other friends or acquaintances who come by regularly.
So, oh boy, I'm still just kind of curious of why a giant came here. I mean, this is not exactly.
I mean, if everything is all strange and
the order of their society was literally broken.
It seemed that could throw a number of things off. Perhaps this person was trying to stake out their own territory away from the ordning. Who knows?
Maybe I'm just looking into more motivation than what he probably had.
This was a female fire.
Oh, she.
All right. So you guys looking for a place to rest?
Yes.
Give me survival checks.
Or do you want to? We can head back to that rock bluff where we met the ogres. I mean, that was at least a dry place to.
Yeah, if you wanted to head back to that outcropping, you could as well.
You're not wrong. That seems like the best idea.
Okay.
You said survival checks.
That was if you're just looking for a place in the area to rest.
Well, yeah, unless you want to stick around here and watch to see if anything shows up.
I'm not terribly concerned about the trolls who come back to find that the scary
dead
fire
giant.
person that was threatening them isn't here anymore.
Go see a troll rave, come on.
Okay, so yeah, you guys make your way back. The fire giant seemed to have scared a lot of the trolls away, so you're not hassled at all. As you head back through the moors to the previous resting place of the ogres that you had encountered earlier. Yeah, you guys can set up a short rest on the rocky outcropping of the ridge.
Okay. And then it's time for some goddamn hit point spending. Or hit dice spending. Because, ow.
Yeah, so you guys take a short rest, and over the course of the short rest, you sort of examine this rod and take the time to sort of read the magical essences, and you determine that it is... A name doesn't necessarily come to you, but the rod has a locate object spell embedded in it. And it seems to be designed to find a specific type of object. It can be used to find any object, but when used to find objects, and you figure of alike substances just from the way it's used, so you figure objects specifically of adamantine, that it has a better it has a larger range.
Okay. So for those keeping track of such things, I just rolled all 5 of my 7 hit dice, and the die rolls I rolled on them were a 1, a 1, a 3, a 3, and a 1.
I mean,
out of a D6.
And
amazing.
for the record, your hit dice is a D6, so not.
Yes.
I mean, the 3 and the 3 were fine. The 1, the 1, and the 1.
Yes.
That's just
so after expending 5 of my 7 hit dice, I have regained 10 hit points.
Nope. Seems legit.
And then another 3 and another 1.
Do you need to cure wounds?
I mean, after expending every single one of my hit dice, I am still not down 9 hit points from my total.
I think we need to exercise you.
I mean, I would rather this happen on this than on my 20s, but...
Will you roll me type/roll space 1d6 plus 1? I want to see if you can roll something other than a 3 or a 1.
Oh. Yeah, it would help if I didn't use the exact words you were saying.
You rolled a 2.
Well, there was
All
a
right.
2.
All right, we've broken...
It's still not good.
No, but it's not a 3 and a 1. I just wanted to make sure.
But it still came out to a 3.
Randomness, folks. Randomness means that you have just as much chance to roll a 1 7 times.
Given that I still have them...
You can stuff yourself.
How many hit points are you down?
You have 9.
Okay, you get 7 of those back from Goodberry.
Just shove good berries in your face.
I actually heal more with that than given my wisdom modified healing word.
That was... I mean, this needs a goddamn screenshot. I don't care.
Go ahead. Go ahead. So, yes, over the course of short rest, you do identify not specifically the rod itself, but you do identify what it's supposed to do. And it does have a locate object spell enchanted into it. You do determine that it has... It currently has 7 charges out of 10 of this locate object spell.
Okay.
And it's like a divining rod, basically. It's meant to find something, and particularly when it is used to find something of adamantine, the range of the locate object spell increases to 10 miles rather than 1,000 feet.
Okay. Do we have anything of adamantine that we need? located?
Nothing specifically, but any hey,
It will
any
be
weapons out of
useful.
anything made out of adamantine could be useful.
Truth. So yeah, after a long and oddly not restful rest.
Well, short rest, but yeah.
Yeah, short, long.
You guys
It's the long version of short. It's the short version of long.
start heading back to Calling Horns.
Yeah, I believe that will be the plan. Yes.
Yep.
Takes you a couple of days, but you don't encounter any further resistance. It seems that with the fire giant gone, a lot of the trolls are more interested in just returning back to their dens than trying to harass things as they go. So you safely make it back to Calling Horns.
Which direction did the ogres go?
South.
Does anyone know? Okay.
They had gone south.
Yeah. I marked roughly mentally and then probably on the map later, marked roughly the direction they wanted to come out in,
Okay.
with the location that they were going to.
Yep. It was south.
I'm just a little worried. Do we have to warn people that there's a band of ogres wandering about?
I think that they were going somewhere specific, probably somewhere where there are other ogres, so I don't think we really need to worry about them.
I'm not necessarily worried about the marauding, but passersby might want to avoid them.
Yeah.
They're probably avoiding passersby. They were nice. What is wrong with you?
Ogres tend to munch on people when they find them alone.
And Rilix tends to munch on mice. That doesn't mean I dislike Rilix or mice. I'm very confused by all of you people.
I was about to say, well, these are people we can talk to, but then you talk to the mice. So, okay, never mind.
That is certainly not logic that I feel I can argue with.
Okay, I'm with this.
Very carefully chosen words there.
That was salty right there.
How about it's but just to warn people so that
I think Kivalar's been chewing on silica gel.
that the people don't piss off the ogres.
So I don't think we need to worry about them at the moment. And if they get into trouble, I'm sure they will receive trouble back.
Besides, it's not like they were headed for this city. I would have noticed that.
No, they weren't headed for it. No, they were not heading for specifically Calling Horns.
Yeah.
They were heading for a place that they named
Broodhog.
Broodhog.
Which is not a name you recognized.
No. But they definitely were intentionally heading to this specific place, so I'm assuming they have business there.
Good to know.
Okay.
All right, off to Calling Horns.
Calling Horns.
Jeff, you guys arrive back at Calling Horns.
Okay. How late is it?
Yeah.
Is it time for
by the time you guys get back to Calling Horns, it's been a couple of days. So by the time you actually get back into the town proper, it's roughly noon.
Okay. So a couple days back, we get a long rest out of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you will have gotten 2 long rests by the time you get back to Calling Horns.
Awesome. Well, I mean, I believe from here we are... Yeah, right? Stop doing that. I hear it's not healthy.
Trying.
So off to Nonar's hold then.
Well,
Are you gonna
first just kind of check in to let them know that we've.
wait? Are you gonna tell the quest giver that you completed the quest?
Yeah.
Oh yes, that's
check
right.
in and
I'd
let them know.
me forgotten that there's a quest and not us just randomly wandering off because we would do that.
Head over to the inn and see. I don't remember what her name is.
Temelin
Temelin.
Zoar, the owner of the inn and the person who basically built Calling Horns. Oh yeah, so you guys go over to the inn and there she's sitting behind the bar, chatting with a patron. Looks over and sees you. Ah, I see my brave adventurers have returned. Do you have news for me?
Yes, we do. We, after sludging through a bit of mud and muck, we saw that there was a fire giant that was harassing the trolls.
Well,
She won't be that much of a problem anymore. I hope. So the trolls shouldn't be, hopefully, wandering out of the moors so much anymore.
felled a fire giant.
As we were traversing back, it did seem that they were less annoyed and more just returning home.
You have my thanks. I promised you a reward, didn't I? She reaches down and pulls out a scroll case from underneath the bar and hands it over. Take this. I'm sure you'll find some use for it in Silvery Moon.
I'll actually hand it to Kinvalar if he doesn't take it already.
No, yeah.
Let's go. Here.
It's a fairly ornate scroll case.
Okay.
Far more fancy than you would expect from a barkeep. And it's currently sealed.
Okay.
Oh, if you're ever if you're ever in Silvery Moon, that should be helpful.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much.
Welcome.
And how far is it from here to Nonar's hold?
About 2 days.
Okay.
Well, unless there's any objections, we can rest here or head on. Anything we need to do while we're here? Does anyone need to?
To the innkeep. I am curious. Is there anyone around here you have like a apothecary alchemist who might sell healing potions?
We do have a Lion Shield Coster that should have a stock of them.
Certainly be interested in checking those out.
If you'd like, they're in town. They're easy enough to find. Look for the shield.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Head over. Do you guys would like to stay here for the afternoon and leave in the morning, or pick up some supplies and take off?
I'm always fine on the road, and I know we want to be urgent, not about the delivery of goods, but the other thing.
That's fine.
Which he's specifically being vague about because we're in public.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I would say let's pick up some supplies, and then we can go while we still have daylight.
Well, sounds like a plan.
All right. So, you guys go get some supplies. You can purchase potions for the standard book price, 50 gold. 50 gold for a normal healing potion, which heals 2d4 plus 2. And again, the Lion Shield Coster has any equipment in the Adventurer's Gear list that is under 50 gold.
Okay.
Is there anything else you want to pick up? Weapons, armor, and Adventurer's Gear that's under 50 gold, as well as healing potions for 50 gold, specifically.
I am gonna probably ask, like, I'm assuming this person looks like they're mostly a merchant.
Yeah, I mean, they're dressed in the standard uniform. What you've come now to understand is the uniform of a Lion Shield Coster, having met a couple of different employees. It's sort of a blue and brown tunic and black leggings with the patch of the Lion Shield on their shoulder. Hair done up in sort of a clean-cut look. And standing behind the bar. Or standing behind the counter, I should say.
Do you know if there's any, like, homebrew alchemists or apothecaries in the area?
Calling horns? No, but, let me think. He takes a moment to imagine as the game master reads swiftly looks through some material to see if there is anything nearby that might qualify for that.
Let me help you as you're doing
there have been talks of a druid living in the shadow of the Lost Peaks that might.
I just tend to accumulate some, as I wander, things that are useful as supplies that I was hoping to sell. I imagine you guys don't buy raw materials like poisonous mushrooms.
No, we have all of our supplies carted in. All of our material is produced in Waterdeep, and then shuttled out on caravans. Yes, if you're ever in the High Forest, the closest thing I would understand there might be a druid out there that might be able to help you with that. Outside of that, perhaps in one of the larger cities of Everland or Silvery Moon or Sundabar or Citadel Felbar, they tend to have a wider variety of people. We don't have a lot of people here that dabble in alchemy, fortunately.
All right. Well, worth a shot.
Well,
yes.
No worries.
I'm picking up 2 healing potions.
All right.
Gonna take up a lot of my money, but
That's $100.
Those poisonous mushrooms will come back and be relevant. God damn it!
You know, we should just feed them to somebody.
Can you do anything?
I could.
Can you do anything with them?
Disney princess wouldn't do that to a random stranger.
All right. So, you guys head on towards the Nonar's
Yep.
Hold? All right. Go ahead and roll me a D100, please.
Who wants to?
I'm already going.
Okay.
So, hold on. Let me...
You got it?
80.
80, you say. So,
80, I say.
you head out up the Evermore Way, which you know it's going to be about a day before you get to the turnoff that you're going to have to take south Nonar's Hold. And on 80...
We die.
No!
Trees fall, we all die.
On an 80, roughly halfway through the next day, after you've had a long rest and the sun is high, you see a familiar band of ogres wandering down the road. Still arguing, constantly.
I'm gonna sort of keeping
slow
some
down
distance.
and motion
Listen.
and Miracle. Would you like to talk to him again?
What was that, Aaron?
I'm gonna keep some distance, but listen in. See.
Sure. No, they're lost again.
Okay. Well then.
Care to have a chat?
Again, like, does it seem like, from what I can hear, does it seem like a kind of lost I could help with, or they're just wandering?
Probably. You do recall they are heading in a specific direction.
Okay.
And it seems like they've gotten turned around somewhere. They're not in the moors, at least. But...
Well, then, given I've talked to them before, Miracle will head in that direction with a friendly wave.
Oh, it's the tiny one again. Hello, tiny one.
Hi.
You're
still traveling?
Do you still have that map? We seem to have got turned around.
Miracle will pull out the map. What can I help you find, if anything?
We need you, and you just hold it up.
Yeah.
See, I told you we should have turned right instead of left. You said left, and we ended up in the forest. There's no forest between here and there. And they start arguing a little bit again, but they sort of seem to have indicated to where they need to go.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you, little one.
All right.
For your assistance. Here, this is
have
for
a nice
you.
trip.
And he reaches down and pulls a deer off of his belt and holds it out and just drops it in front of you. It's a dead deer.
Thank you.
And then they trundle off down the road.
Well then.
That was interesting.
Once they're significantly out of earshot, Miracle will go, see, and this is why when you don't approach other people who happen to be traveling with, oh, they're giants, trolls, whatever, let's stab them a lot, you make friends.
To be fair, though, the last
like
two giants we encountered, when you tried to talk to them, they threw things at you.
That doesn't mean you shouldn't try talking your problems out first.
And we will... I'm sure we will continue to let you talk to the giants first. But if they do throw things at you, we
here's my question.
Stabbed.
If they weren't a species whose dietary habits you disagree with, and you encountered a group of people who were lost and don't speak your language, would your response be to attack them?
If their dietary needs included me, there is a good chance that we tried to...
I have a counter question. Would you blame a mouse if a mouse tried to preemptively attack a falcon for chasing it down before it had a chance to chase it down and kill it?
Of course not. Though that's not typically what mice do.
No.
And
but if the
mice can't really talk to falcons.
And as you pointed out, a lot of us can't speak to them either.
Exactly. Therefore,
languages exist within the same parameter of non-magical speech.
Regardless, we do not have the ability to communicate with them. Therefore, I feel as if it is a bit judgmental that when you are treating one situation as you're not angry with the falcon for eating the mouse, so we shouldn't be angry with the ogres for trying to eat us. There's a double standard on the other side.
Yes, but typically the mice just run and hide. I wish the mice and the falcon would talk it out before they need to eat each other, but that doesn't happen. And I can't change that for for this one. I'm hoping I can change it for you.
I feel as if my point has been
The
made.
entire world is our classroom. Let us continue to learn about these things.
Kinvalar learns that logic doesn't work on everybody.
I'll just put it this way: we will let you talk to as many giants as you like.
Logic is going to change my mind about anything.
We will gladly let you talk to other giants before anything gets hostile. I am okay with that.
That being the random encounter that you rolled, those fucking ogres. Oh god.
Sure, theme, isn't it?
Else, I think Jeremy rolled them too, like the last time.
I mocked your Adventurers League parameters.
Doesn't matter where we show up. We're just gonna run into this
just a fucking random bunch of ogres.
I do have to say, I appreciate that you found an appropriate counter for that, because there was a moment where I saw your mind go, "Oh fuck! That's good logic."
Look, I understand he's wrong. I'm still playing him like he thinks he's right.
Just saying, I was impressed you found the loophole there.
Thanks.
It takes effort to be wrong.
to maintain that, yeah.
All right, so you guys find the turn and the sign that indicates, Olston's hold this way, Callinghorn's that way, Nonar's hold that way, and you turn off, heading down with your cart in tow, heading down to Nonar's hold. It's gonna be another day from the turn off. Go ahead and roll me another. Jeff, roll me a D100. $51. Okay. So yeah, nothing jumps out at you guys as you continue down. You get another night's rest on the way down to Nonar's hold, and then as sun rises and you continue on, a few hours later after waking up, you find yourselves on the edge of the high forest. You see this small settlement. Sorry, I'm just trying to look at the descriptions for these things. Don't have a read this, so you have to parse out what it currently is as opposed to what it used to be. Yes. So you can see from a distance as you approach the village's once famous hunting lodge, the White Hart Inn, standing amid low stone cottages and stables. And it's a small, again, this is not a large village. This is a small area just outside of a keep. And you can see a keep nestled on a hilltop overlooking the village. Nestled among old pine trees, this massive 3-story keep with corner turrets and rooftop battlements. Give me perception checks, everyone. That's sort of as you guys are approaching.
Okay.
Wow.
Farbolt with a 27, Miracle with a 6, and Kevlar with a 17. So Miracle, you're just sort of looking around and taking the sights and looking at the high forest and thinking about all the creatures and animals that live there and that are probably very happy right now because they're not being attacked and eaten. Farbolt and Kevlar, you look out and you see the inn seems to be, like, from the outside. It seems fairly rustic and creaky, and looks like it's a little bit on the disheveled side. Not having fallen into disrepair, but definitively could use some more upkeep. It seems that the rumors that the town has suffered from the dark rumors of the lodge of the hold may be a little bit true on that end at least. Farbolt, as you're looking around, you see the village is sort of quiet as well. You notice that there's not a lot of people out and about and going through the streets, even though it's daytime. Like, theoretically, there should be people out and about right now, either going about their daily work, their daily tasks, or whatever. But it's very quiet, eerily so.
Yeah. Of the people, the few people that we see walking about, is it they're just going about daily business, or they seem apprehensive? Anything on edge?
They just they very quickly and purposefully, if they're leaving a building, they go from one building to their location. They don't stop or dawdle or linger or have conversations with each other. They just they move and go.
Just a kind of like cheery wave to a few people as they go by, just to see what they do.
They look at you, and you see their face change as they see you. It goes from sort of just like self-concern to shock, panic, and then back to that self-concern, and they continue on, like just putting you out of their mind.
After a couple times of that, it's like going, not the usual greeting I normally get.
No, there seems to be something off here.
Miracle looks like he noticed none of this.
Nope.
Well,
not overly friendly for a tourist attraction.
Yes,
let's finish our business and.
So you do recall that the leathers, the barding that you're supposed to deliver is supposed to be delivered to the keep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming, actually, with the 6, I probably don't find the keep.
No, the keep is readily obvious. That doesn't even require a roll. It's sitting on a hill overlooking the village. All of you.
Okay, so we go that way. Yeah. It seems like this street off to the right is the correct way to go.
Yeah, or at least the person that you were told as the Castellan, the person you're supposed to be delivering these to is the Castellan of Nonar's Hold.
Mm-hmm.
And
the keep is self-important enough that if we're in the wrong place, they'll tell us where to go.
You get odd looks. They point to the hill there.
It was Amrath Molnabar, the Castellan. Do you guys head up to the keep, or do you go to the White Hart Inn first? Or okay, all right. So yeah, so you guys, as you guys pull your cart through the village, because you have to go through the village to get to the path that leads up to the keep. Again, as you go through, very quiet, and occasionally you'll just hear the sort of wood clashing of windows closing and doors, like you hear the metal chink of doors locking.
Mm-hmm.
As you go through. And
that's comforting.
While you are out on the streets, nobody seems to be coming out of their homes. Like, you saw a couple of people wandering about as you came in, and then as soon as they noticed you guys, they all indoors.
I mean, in general, not a bad idea when responding to the presence of adventurers in your city.
That's fair.
I feel like
it's probably not what's happening, but
I feel like this is probably less to do with us and more to do with, wasn't this the
rumors?
Yeah, the people hunting.
The people hunting rumors, and there's talking to the guards back at Calling Horns. There's apparently a lot of ghost stories going around.
I mean,
I don't I don't know if they're true or not. You run into all kinds of weird supernatural stories everywhere, but
Right.
they thought it was a concern.
But people hunting and ghosts might not be unrelated.
I mean, that is also true. And, I'm not obviously not the form that they might be suspecting, but I am a sort of people hunter, and we are dressed as if we might be hunting people and equipped. So it might be somewhat understandable as to why they are not
receptive.
Yeah. I mean, you guys still have the handcuffs that I got, right?
Kinvlar has them.
Yes, I do.
Well, in that case, we deliver the goods and hope we don't have to use them.
I appreciate
words to live by. Hopefully we won't have to use the manticles today.
Your optimism.
All right. As you guys approach, so you guys continue through, and again, it's just this strangely cold as well as you move through. Cold and quiet. Gives you that very Dickensian, Dickensian poor feeling to the whole place. And just nothing but the sound of the wagon wheels moving, your own motions, and the horses pulling the cart along as you head up to the keep. Upon approaching, you notice that, so looking up at the keep, you notice that one of the turret rooftops seems to have collapsed, leaving a sort of a gaping hole, and you see birds sort of nesting there. You also notice that all of the windows on the keep, all the arrow slits and other windows are bricked up, closed. And then there are these, as you approach, there's just a heavy set of oaken doors closed to all outsiders at the front.
I'll tell my hawk to get an aerial view of the area, just in case.
Hawk flies up, takes a look around. While that's happening, are you guys approaching the door, or are you waiting?
Yeah.
I'm approaching the door.
Yeah, just go up to the door and see if does anyone acknowledge our presence.
You go up to the door. There's these huge, metal knockers on it.
Knock, knock.
Boom, boom, boom.
You hear and then very slowly and deliberately the door, and looking sort of like you just see sort of half of the face of a old, weathered, cracked, gray-haired individual looking up at you from the door.
The supplies you delivered have arrived. Apologies for the delay.
Right.
Hello.
The door continues to open further, and you see standing before you an old, several hundred years old, male dwarf, gray hair falling down into a tightly kept thing, gray beard tied into a braid going down his front. Well dressed for the most part, sort of black tunic and with bits of lace on the fringe. So steps out, arms, making sure to keep his body blocking the door as he does so, and sort of clasps his right wrist with his left hand and looks up at the group of you. Aye, well then, you would be the adventurer. You would be the delivery from Tribor, correct?
Yep.
That would be us.
Yes.
Right. Well, if you would be so kind as to deposit the barding here at the door, I will take care of the rest, and you may be on your way.
Have a nice day.
Hmm.
Was there anything else we needed, like a signature? Miracle just says very loudly to the others.
No.
Also, insight check.
Sure.
11.
What are you trying to insight?
Is he actually the person we're supposed to be delivering these to?
Yes, he looks every inch the Castellan. And you've already been paid for this, so...
Yes.
I just wasn't sure if they needed us to get a signature from him to bring Mac or something.
Nope.
Cool.
So,
and I sincerely apologize. I don't recall. I don't remember what your name was, my lord.
Amaranth Muldabar.
Amrat. So I had a curiosity question. I have heard I am cards on the table. I'm a bounty hunter. And I am to understand that there is, if word is correct, the way an opportunity to sharpen those skills, so to speak, around here.
His eyes sort of narrow as he looks at you. I believe you should deliver your goods and be gone.
Very well. Very well.
this has got the quite nice, quaint little town you have here. Is there a inn or some place that you would recommend we can stay at?
If you're deciding to stay, the White Hart would be the inn of choice, as it is the only inn in the town.
White Hart. Well, thank you very much.
This
there
could be
anything-
worth
Have
the
a
rest.
pleasant day.
You guys dump the barding out. He drags them inside, and very quickly, the door closes behind him.
Friendly bunch.
Yes.
This is why I don't like nobles very much.
Yeah, so
How big does the keep look?
It's about 3 stories. Got
Do
turrets.
you know how many
Big.
rooms that could be for people that barely have homes? Oh, and warn me next time we're doing the sinister angle. I can't.
Yes, I'm sorry. It was a little bit impulsive
I just
on my
didn't know
part.
that we were doing that.
It was a bit impulsive on my part. I had a sudden thought.
what were you thinking? I was going to a very different place.
Okay, are we staying in town to get kidnapped, or are we going from now?
So the next, you do know that the next leg of your journey, the next stop is Ulston's Hold, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 days from here.
Yep.
So this is going to be the last place you have to get a comfortable rest for a while.
Yes,
not
but I'm a
inside,
ranger, so I'm fairly used to not having comfortable rests for weeks or months at a time.
That was more for Kinvalar and Farbolt.
I mean,
Yeah.
me too, honestly.
But the question is if we want to take it, given that that seems to come with a significant chance of...
Shenanigans?
Being
Shenanigans is a
captured
word. I like that
and
word.
forced into being hunted.
I mean,
It may not
I'm
even
not
be
really opposed to that.
it may not even be the human hunting.
Also,
It also could be being spirited away by ghosts.
to be clear, those are only rumors. You have no actual evidence that is the case.
We have no evidence of the ghost and no evidence of the human hunting. It still seems like there is
It's still a fucking creepy town.
tension in this.
It's still a creepy town.
It's a creepy town.
I'm still somebody who is a bounty hunter and thus would suspect the worst out of humanity.
Oh yeah.
Are you looking to? I mean, these people are. They look like they've had to deal with their existence. They have to deal with something that they're not very comfortable with. So but they've lived with it for a while because they're not scared. They're just do things to unconsciously avoid whatever the unpleasantness is. Do you want to? Are you thinking of looking into it?
A little bit. I mean, assuming that we're all interested in doing so.
I'm up for it. Two plan ideas I'd have right off the bat. One, we stay the night in town, see if that raises anything, listen, that sort of thing.
How much attention do you want to draw to ourselves?
Or two, we could lean into the sinisterness you were going for there.
So listen, how much attention do you want to draw to ourselves?
I mean, I will be honest.
I can certainly draw attention if you would like us to. Not necessarily the bad kind, but we can draw attention.
I will be honest. I wasn't necessarily expecting to be believed. The whole point was to draw the attention of this organization.
Okay.
So,
what's your plan? This is your wheelhouse.
if we can try and talk to some people, if we can try and draw them out that way, not draw out the reprehensible folk, but try and draw out some people who might be able to provide us with some information.
Which I can do, if you're aware. I come from a long line of performers. That's kind of how I grew up.
Okay.
I can certainly try to draw some attention. And if you two would like to speak with people. And it won't be the... Basically, my idea is I can put on a performance, and if anyone actually does come to watch, you two would be free to mingle.
I can also actually ask the local wildlife if it's, depending on what it is, the town rats, the town birds might have noticed something.
That may not be a terrible idea.
Roughly
it would
this
be a
time,
little more subtle.
Roughly this point, Falcon lands back on Miracle's horn.
What did you find?
Do you speak with animal? Oh, no, you just have an instinctive bond, don't you?
I don't have a bond, but I can
understand.
I can get basic information like danger or over there.
Not a lot of prey. Is the first thing that you sort of get a glimpse of, is that there are some birds in the tower and in the turret and around the area, but there's not a lot of mice. There's not a lot of smaller woodland animals on the ground in the vicinity of the town. That was the biggest thing he was looking for. Other than that, nothing out of the ordinary that he noticed. Castle, birds, other birds.
No, nothing that struck him as like, that's a huge threat. I'm going to stay away from the scary dragon that's
no dragons or giants or anything.
Yeah.
Just not a lot of prey, not a lot of food.
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Well,
Seems like
Sorry, go ahead.
Seems like there aren't very many small animals, which, I mean, in my experience, people hunters don't usually get rid of the rats or mice.
Well, for now, let's...
You can try drawing a crowd and you can mingle. Or, because most of these people are locked in their houses. I'm sure there'll be a few people at the inn, but...
Let's start slow and build up if we have to. I feel like going in the opposite direction we will have less of an opportunity to backtrack if we make a larger statement.
You're roboting, Aaron. I believe you said that's true, but
I didn't catch any of that.
Okay, yeah, you're back to normal now. You had a
I don't know what's wrong with my internet today. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
What did you say? I didn't catch any of that.
That's true, but like, can't you just perform for one person? Find someone. Dramatic curtain drop.
And that's when a werewolf jumps out from behind you.
We'll start with the inn and work our way outwards from there. How about that?
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to go.
Okay. So you guys head back down to the White Hart Inn?
Yes.
Yeah, down stable your horses and the carriage. And you go inside.
How does the Celestial Horse feel about this place? Asking.
Uncomfortable.
Okay.
It doesn't. There's something about the air of the place doesn't feel quite right to it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I agree with this steed.
I agree, but also, especially a conjured animal's instincts aren't necessarily just geared towards the potentially sinister intentions of those around.
So, you guys go to the White Hart Inn.
Yep.
The creaky building is well maintained on the inside as you step in. It's a little bit of grandeur in the rustic setting, and at the bar is a short but obviously still human male who looks up at you. Ah, well, guests, welcome. Aha, we seem to have a slight uptick in people. You're the second group of visitors to visit us in quite a while.
Really?
Yes. Welcome. I am Avgar Filroy, the proprietor here of the White Hart Inn. I assume you're here to seek an audience with the Hunt Lords, ever grand as they are, but they don't see very many visitors. But what can I get for you today? Are you seeking rest or drink, food? What
a bit of everything there, I guess.
Well, come to the right place. The White Hart. While we may not be as enthusiastic or as popular as establishment as we have in bygone years, we still pride ourselves on the quality of our service. So that's going to be 4 rooms for you.
Yes, please.
Well then, let me see. Yes, that's going to be 2 gold apiece, and we'll get you all kitted out with your own rooms, and that of course includes meals for the evening. Yes.
That'd be wonderful. So,
Takes your hands out keys.
I'm curious. You said we're the second group here. Is the other one?
Yes.
The others still here?
Oh, yeah, in fact, they're right over. He points over, and you see a trio of humans.
Of ogres.
No.
Who've been lost on their way.
Yes, no. You see a trio of dark-skinned humans looking over. Oh, hi. They sort of wave hands, raise mugs. Yes, we have these... the Daravos brothers, yes, come from Neverwinter lately, yes. And that's pretty much it. They look like they've come for a hunt, and so, is there anything I can do for you? Food will be served shortly. If you find a table, I'll bring it out to you. And as he's talking, you notice that the table he's indicated had some stuff on it. And just very abruptly, all that stuff lifts up, and dirt on it just gets knocked out, and chairs are pulled out.
Okay.
I didn't clean, but I have magic.
Anything in particular, or just random?
No, it looks like somebody is clearing the table, but there's nobody there.
Yes. So, I'm sorry. What was his name?
His name was. As I lost it because people don't lose one once. Avgar Filroy.
Avgar. So Avgar, you guessed correctly. We are absolutely, hoping to meet with the Hunt Lords.
Ah, yes, you have the look about you of huntsmen.
Yes. I'm certain that you being in the position that you're in, probably, if you would be so kind, could tell us a little bit of what to expect.
Well, don't expect much. They've retired, you see. They don't entertain guests, and they wish not to be disturbed over much. Pretty much all you'll ever really get is old grumpy Amrath up there at the keep, answering the door, doing requests, getting things for them. That's pretty much the only contact any of us here in the village have with the Hunt Lords as of late. They keep to themselves, and they built this city on the hunt, and they built this village on the hunt, and it is their right to seek their solace if they so desire.
Right. Well, is there any way to gain audience without the help of Emrath?
Oh no. Unfortunately, Old Moldabar is the only point of contact you will find, and unless you want to try to break into the keep. But of course, who would do that? I mean, that seems silly. Such a silly thing. No, it's no. There's not really any other way.
Okay.
Speaking to Moldabar.
Well, I appreciate your information.
Yes.
And yes, let's.
And you said those gentlemen were brothers. Did you say?
Feel free to speak with them. They're over there. They're our only guests currently, but it's always nice to have more. And please have your seats. Your meals will be out shortly.
Yeah. Wonderful, thank you.
And he like sort of disappears into a back room where you can only imagine where the kitchen is.
Right.
Oh,
Miracle will pull out his scholar's book.
Okay.
I don't think I have any magic to forfeit into existence with. But
No.
Yes.
That was the sound of the book opening. Just, it's a big book.
Yes. Start writing something in it.
And the rest of you? Or do you sit down and do that, or you just stand there?
Yeah. I have a plan. It's not a good plan. So I'm probably actually going to stand sort of more like in a place where I can see the entire place and document.
All right. So Miracle stands off into a corner and starts writing a book.
Okay.
Firen goes and sits down at the table. And starts like removing, like unbuckling his sword belt, putting the sword down, unbuckling his shield, putting the shield down, getting his gauntlets off so he can actually eat. It takes him a minute to do that.
Once I get a mug of something, it's kind of ale, wine, anything, whatever they bring.
Yes, we will bring it out with your meal. Yes, just have a seat.
No, I'm waiting till I have a drink in hand.
So
then
while you're waiting, are you sitting down or?
Yeah, I take a seat down while we're waiting.
All right. Kimvalar?
Yes, I'm going to go ahead and take a seat with.
Yeah. So you guys sit down. The brothers are sort of at the table that was indicated. It's a fairly large tavern, but it's mostly empty. It's just you, and then a few tables away, there's this trio of men eating and drinking and laughing and talking and chatting. They definitely look like brothers. They all have dark skin, similar dark colored brackish brown haircuts. Wearing fairly nice attire and looking to be geared up for they're wearing leathers, and they have insignias on their armor, and they have gear sort of stacked off to one side, and just a big pile of food in front of them that they're all eating.
Okay, recognize the insignias?
Give me a history check.
Given what I'm doing, I'll also make that check.
23, not bad.
With a 9, Miracle doesn't recognize it. With a 23, Farbolt, it's the insignia of the Deravos, which is a minor noble family from Neverwinter.
Okay.
Yeah, what the hell?
Well, yeah.
Same.
It's a minor noble family from Neverwinter.
Okay.
After a while, platters of food and goblets of ale float out of the kitchen, and followed by Avgar. Yes, gentlemen, food is served, and they plop down a roast turkey with mashed potatoes and corn and all sorts of very filling and healthy food, along with mugs of ale, a bottle of that. If you would prefer a wine selection, let me know. We do have a few bottles that we can bring out for your perusal. And other than that, enjoy your meal. If you have any questions, please feel free. Do not hesitate to ask. Oh, and it would be to your health if at night you were to remain indoors. I know many of our guests have a tendency to keep odd hours, but for the safety of our patrons, we would recommend that you remain inside at night. The forests, the high forest, has a bit of a problem with the spirits of dead hunters from hunts long past tend to roam at night, and we don't want anyone to suffer problems.
So I've heard stories about that. The stories are true.
I'm afraid they are quite true, yes. The long dead from previous great hunts, so many fall, as of course from various wounds when hunting wild boars and elks and other creatures that can defend themselves quite handily. The abrupt nature and the built-up bravado and confidence of the soul tends to linger, and so we've had many a folk not listen to warnings and wander out at night, never to be seen again. So, do be careful. Would hate to lose.
Of course.
Fascinating.
Yep. If you have any further questions, please feel free to ask. We'll wander back to behind the bar.
After a little bit of doing my sketching thing, I might wander over towards the brothers.
Okay.
Hello.
Ah,
I am Miracle.
hello, Miracle.
I'm a traveling scholar accompanying my companions, and I'm always trying to learn more stories of the world and greater my education. Could I trouble you for a quick interview?
I mean, Deravos never turns down an interview, obviously, when...
Yeah. Well, I suppose let's start with what brings you to this wonderful tavern.
Well, we're hunting giants. It's a family pastime. Bit of a contest between the two of us, eh? Or between the three of us. They sort of elbow each other, chuckling.
at his table, as he's taking a drink, so he's sort of muttering to it, "Oh, this is gonna go well."
Fascinating. This is a regular event. How inspiring. How did you come across such an interesting contest?
Generational. The Deravos are well-known giant hunters in Neverwinter, and it's son's duty to carry on his father's burden, and our father was fortunate enough to have 3 sons. So we figured 3 hill giants ought to be enough.
See. Quite admirable. What else can you tell me about your specialty? How did you train, prepare?
I mean, with trainers, I would assume. Yes. They sort of seem confused by this line of questioning because now you're asking for details and not how great they are, and so they're slightly confused at that point.
Good to know. Miracle goes back and does more of this. He's trying to get any details they know about the town, but also just establish himself as this person who tries to document all the things.
So, give me a persuasion check.
Oh, this'll go great. Persuasion.
7. So, mostly what you get is they don't know much about the town itself. They're just here to hunt hill giants and be awesome doing it.
Okay. That works.
After Miracle walks away, just not going to go up right away, but like turkey leg in one hand, mug of ale in the other.
By the way, as Miracle comes back, you'll see he'll turn the book around like to show you guys all the interesting things he learned and new experiences. And it sort of buried in there is an underline. Yeah, they're people killers. They kill giants. Line.
Let's not get into.
It's just written down, and then he turns the book back towards himself and gives Kinvalar a look.
And
Kinvalar chooses not to get into a discussion of whether giants count as people or not.
No, but Farwell's going to go over there. Not, like I said, not right away after Miracle leaves, but it's come back like mug of ale, turkey leg in the other hand, and it's go, excuse me, I couldn't help it over here. are you actually? It was Devaros.
Deveros.
Devaros.
Deravos.
There. Is it true that you are part of House Deravos?
Yes. Yeah, the Brothers 3.
I've heard stories. It's pardon me. I am just kind of big bow, trying not to spill the mug. It's making a show of trying not to spill the mug.
Yeah.
As do about it is an honor. I am Farbolt Chance of the famed Take a Chance traveling circus. We've heard stories
Farbolt,
about the prowess of your family.
Well, Farbolt, you have the honor of sitting with Renthal, Marthun, and Lesric of the Deravos name. It's always a pleasure to meet a fan.
Oh, it is a pleasure, and you did I overhear that you're here to hunt giants?
Indeed, we are.
We're looking at hunting like bear or large beasts, but they have giants.
I mean, if you know where to look.
How does that work? I mean, that
the Desserin Hills, and they just sort of indicate to the west. Giants wander all around from the Desserin Hills and from the Lost Peaks and the high mountains. So, if you know where to look and you have a history of being cunning, dashing, and intelligent, then you can find yourself a hill giant wherever you need.
Have you yourself ever slayed one?
Well, no, it's sort of a rite of passage. It's what we're here to do. It's in our family, though. It's in our blood.
So how do you plan on doing it? I mean, they're so large, like a deer, you can, hit them through the heart, but when they can hit back, how do you deal with that?
Well, you evade, obviously, get out of the way, and they sort of indicate their gear, and you looking over, you notice mostly what they have. They have a couple of nets and then a trio of rapiers.
Kidlar tries very hard not to laugh at the idea of using nets to catch giants.
Farbolt's is doing the yokel who's impressed by famous celebrity act.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a trio of nets. They have a bunch of nets and rapiers, and that seems to be the only major equipment that they have currently, other than their armor that they're still wearing. And their armor is very much like sort of tailored to fit and embroidered leathers and metal and like breastplates and things like that. So
how did you get an audience with the Hunt Lords? That dwarf that the keep wasn't very forthcoming with.
No, we didn't. The Hunt Lords are retired. You don't need their permission to hunt, and besides which, our family has a long time understanding with the folks of the Hold. So
they don't arrange the hunt for you.
Oh no, the Hunt Lords haven't the Hunt Lords haven't arranged a hunt for years. They're retired.
Oh, so you haven't spoken with them at all? I figured people of your stature would have an audience, would have their ear.
No, they're reclusive, and besides which, why would we want to speak with some retired old men? They're likely as good at hunting with a lance as they are at using the one between their legs.
Oh, of course.
They laugh at that joke.
Well,
I
feel like Jeremy's having an aneurysm over there.
I think Kidlar's pretty damn close.
Let me think.
Miracle's not the only person who's low-key okay with that.
Miracle makes a medicine check to see how close to an aneurysm Kinvalar is.
Yeah, essentially. Given that was a natural 20, bless me rolling something decent this game.
Right?
Miracle's gonna, tap Kinvalar. Let's go look for tiny animals.
Yes, let's.
If it's not dark yet.
By this point, it is getting closer to dusk. You guys got here at around noon. Took a while. It took a while walking through the village. So it's been a few hours, and
Fair enough.
You've settled down and had dinner. So it's about 6:30ish. So it'll be dark soon.
Leave
then definitely
to do his thing without us screwing it up by choking on our wine over stupid things being said.
And a lot of the people around here aren't that talkative. Have you mentioned anything? You know, have you seen is there a good blacksmith or something? Our equipment isn't quite as good as yours, so.
Oh well. I mean,
being able
our equipment's only the best you can buy in Neverwinter. But no, we don't tend to speak with the locals all that much. They're fairly, quiet, shy, reserved. We figure they're just, stunned that nobles of our stature come out here so regularly. But regardless, we don't busy ourselves with them all that much. So.
Oh. Well, I'm surprised you don't have more people coming to speak with you.
No, we don't really mind. We're not looking for company. We're here for the glory of our family. So,
of course, and I expect to hear tales of your exploits for years to come. He just gives a big grin.
After tomorrow, there will be tales told of. The Darabos brothers. Isn't that right, brothers? And they clink their mugs together and continue eating and drinking.
It's going, and I look forward to hearing all of them.
And they will eventually go to bed after eating.
Yeah, and I just kind of wander back to our table.
And find Kinvlar Miracle gone.
We may have come back by that point, I'm not sure.
Wow.
But...
So, you guys.
Seeking animals.
Give me a nature check. Once your internet decides it wants to stop lagging. Womp womp. Womp womp. You roboted out hard and
see this.
Jeremy, move your head, please, so I know you haven't also frozen. Okay,
no, I'm fine.
Sorry, you were standing so still. You were sitting so still. I wasn't sure. All right. I think your internet. Nope, still frozen. And there you are. Now you're back. Sorry, can you repeat all that, Aaron?
Fuck.
The whole world's against us, I swear to God.
Nope, you're frozen again. That's great. All right. Kimlar, what were you planning on doing while we wait for Aaron's internet to unstuck?
I was with Miracle.
He was just following Miracle's lead.
I can... I'm off, but...
It's so funny whenever, not it's just the bits that come through, and then the like fast forwarded video that follows as the video tries to catch up with what audio has come through. Okay, I think you're moving normally again, Aaron.
Okay.
Yes, we
cool.
We can understand you now.
Yay. So my down or whatever presumably is fine because you guys are not interrupted in the slightest.
Your upload speed, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. I was trying to.
And it starts again.
You roll a nature check and it wasn't.
Been trying to roll a nature check and it wasn't working. Is as far as I got. Okay, you're back again. Hit the button, quick.
The button isn't back. You also have access to my character sheet.
I will roll a nature check for you. Well, blam. Look, a 24. You rolled a 24. So with the 24, Miracle and Kinvalar can determine that there aren't a lot of small animals outside.
Right.
And as you guys are sort of looking around, like no mice, no rats, no ferrets, no nothing, nothing smaller than a dog, and there aren't any dogs either. And sort of just as you're thinking about it, Miracle, it sort of rings in Miracle's mind, and then Miracle will voice this that, animals can sense things that humans can't typically.
Right.
They are typically far more tuned into the weave and to nature and to other sort of monstrous creatures. And whenever there's lots of danger, they fuck off.
Yes.
So
I'm gonna be honest. Kinvalar's not actually expecting any revelatory information here. He's mostly out because it gives Farbolt a chance to.
That's why I took Kinvalar. Yeah.
The fact that the thing that does key you in is that birds haven't left. It's just the small animals on the ground. Which sort of
Are there any birds low enough that I can talk with them?
I mean, yeah, you can. There's a couple of birds' nests on a couple of houses that people have like retightened the windows as you approach.
I'll use speak with animals, see what I can get out of them.
Sure. What are you trying to ask?
I'm just trying to ask, like, what sort of danger is around here? Because even if it doesn't impact them, if it's impacting their food source, they're probably aware of it.
Yeah. Through talking to a couple with that nature check, we'll just keep that 24. Through talking to a couple of birds, you determined that the smaller animals fled because the human population is sort of trapped here. They sort of reaffirm that there are ghosts that ride the forest at night. And the surroundings, and they say basically any strangers that are out after night are hunted down by spectral figures on horseback and killed. And because of that, no new people come in, and the villagers don't go out. So there's enough food for the people that are there, but not enough cast-offs for the smaller animals. Mm-hmm. So, and also, if the smaller animals out and about at night, they're not safe either. So, they fled because their food supply was in danger, and themselves as well. The birds can still get by because there's enough small animals in the forest nearby that aren't affected by this. It seems that whatever's happening is localized around the town.
Okay. Kinvalar, it seems like it's not the forest, it's the town. Mm-hmm. And at night, ghosts ride, or at least the birds see ghosts, so probably ghosts.
Well, I don't know about your Farbolt, but I heard you shouldn't go outside at night, and thought, well, I suppose we're going outside tonight.
Yeah, that was the plan.
Okay, I'm glad that wasn't just me.
So hopefully our paladin will be around to help us, because his abilities are sort of tuned to this.
We'll see. But
though, I'm not sure about you, but I'm probably going to have some trouble stabbing ghosts with arrows.
I'm a little less concerned about stabbing the ghosts when I can throw
you
lightning
can
bolts
laser
at them.
bolt the ghosts.
What is a laser? I'm not sure what you mean.
Long academic explanation of the magical equivalent of a laser. I studied with quite a few wizards.
Yeah. But yes, we will. Good. Sounds like we have a plan then.
And the other part of that plan is we let those idiots go giant hunting and get gobbled.
And let what happens to them happen, because if you're that
Conceited and dumb.
ill-advised, I was going to say, but I feel like on one hand I would warn them, but I don't feel like it's going to help. And I feel as if they're likely at some point to try and involve others in their death wish.
Yeah.
And so if they go out on their own and die, that will be for a better, that will be less overall. Yeah.
Natural selection.
Sure. All right.
It's this thing where the dumb ones die so that the smarter ones reproduce.
Yes. All right. Well, plan gained. Let's.
Cool.
So you guys return to the inn?
Also, I think that the fact that we're out of towners who are probably definitely going out at night is why the town is so afraid of us. That or we look the same as adventurer ghosts. Yeah, going back to the tavern.
Okay. I'm doing a thing. Okay. All right. So, you guys go back to the inn and turn in for the night. And are you all going out at night?
I mean, once we get back to
Firebolt raises objection.
I'd be waiting at the table, just munching on whatever's there, waiting, like kicking my feet up and probably idly juggling something as I wait for the other two to get back.
I'll preemptively cast Goodberry at this point.
Okay.
As when I see Kinvalar and Miracle walk in, just kind of look over. He's probably got his feet up on the table and just kind of look over and going, yeah, those guys are going to die.
Well, the birds say the danger in the area is the ghosts that are trapping people here.
I mean, I will, when we get, I'm going to pull us off to one of our rooms so we're not discussing this in the central dining, drinking area.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, you are the only ones in there. Other than
Doesn't matter.
Avgar.
Yes, that's enough. I don't trust that he's not involved in this.
Okay. Yeah, go up to one of the rooms then.
Yeah. So, yes, our preliminary plan is to head out tonight, see what we can find.
Now, if we run into these ghosts, How do we defend ourselves? I mean, kind of sad motion. I don't. Can we affect them at all? I know a few tricks, but my magic isn't exactly damaging.
Arcana roll, I'm assuming.
Sure.
I will also make that roll, by which I mean, John, please make that roll for me.
Do you use your character sheet still not? Is Roll20 still not opening up for you?
Yeah, I'm still not even on the editing page for Roll20. I'm refreshing it again, but
Remember, when I make the roll, you roll well. So you rolled so Kindle rolled a 13 on Arcana, Miracle rolled a 15 on Arcana, and Fyron rolled a natural 20 on Religion. Kinvalar and Miracle ghosts, while yes, they are not hurt as bad. They, as far as you know, magic is the thing to deal damage to them. There are certain types of weapons that can deal damage to them, but there's something special about them. And as you guys are thinking, Fyron sort of finishes his drink, puts it down. Well, this is sort of the thing that we're trained for. Typically, ghosts, depending on what kind of ghost, have a variety of resistances to normal non-magical weapons. Silver to weapons are something that can overcome that. But typically magic and are the things that you want to use. Not anything that deals necrotic energy or poison, though. They obviously the undead can't be poisoned, and they are fueled by necrotic energy, so it doesn't hurt them. Depending on what kind of it would actually be best for us if we could determine what kind of ghosts they are. What kind of ghosts they are will determine the best way to fight them. There are many different varieties.
Well, just from the stories, these things are out for revenge.
I mean, all we know is that they hunt people. We don't know much else. You're muted, Aaron.
damn it. So, according to the animals, they ride. The hunters seem to believe them to be the dead of the hunt. They primarily show up at night. They target an area, particularly humans within that area who are opportune. And the lords of the hunt have closed up shop and boarded up their doors, possibly because they're the primary targets.
Give me a religion roll. If you have access to your character sheet now.
I fixed the thing, so I think I do now. Yes. You know how sometimes my computer decides that the Ethernet cable isn't worth using?
Kivalar, also give me a religion roll, please. And Farbolt can too if he wants.
Yeah, not my strong suit, but hey, that was a pretty decent roll, though.
So, Fyron and Miracle, you're not able. You have these clues, but you can't quite put them together. Kinvalar, you're thinking there are a couple of specific types of undead.
Wait a minute. I'm getting more information when I rolled a 12 and Farbolt rolled a 20.
20?
Fyron and Miracle. Sorry, did I say Farbolt?
Oh.
Firen and
You
Miracle.
said, you said Fireball.
Firen and Miracle can't think of anything right now.
Actually, I'm not certain. Choose some more different sounding names, people.
that's on you guys. Fire and Miracle aren't quite putting together the clues. Kinvalar, there's a couple of different types of undead that you've encountered before, that sort of ring a bell when you're thinking revenge, you're thinking locked to an area, you're thinking riding on a horse, which means mimicking what they did in life. You're thinking only come out at night, so sensitive to sunlight. This is definitely a physical undead of some kind, not a ghost. You're thinking a wight, maybe a revenant. Something a little bit more substantial than just a ghost. Firebolt, when you think of these things, you think of stories that you've heard, or stories that you've been told, or stories that you've told others. And the thing that pops into mind immediately for you is a wight. Wights are they are evil undead that were once mortals, driven by dark desire and great vanity. And you're thinking hunters. You're thinking vanity. And the story that you recall was, when death stills a greedy and vain heart, and snuffs its living breath, the spirit cries out to the demon lord Orcus, or to other vile gods of the underworld, for reprieve. And in return for waging an eternal war on the living, the dark power grants them undeath and harnesses them as shock troops. They typically possess their memories and their emotions and their drives and their desires from their former life. And you also know that they are incredibly difficult to put down at night, especially. They're the kind of creature you want to hunt during the day. But in order to hunt them during the day, you have to find out where they're hiding. That's the information you all get off those rolls.
So that means we need, sharing this information with the others. Are we going to go out and take a peek now, or?
I mean,
Fire sort of chimes in. We have the means to fight them at night. So if that might gain us more information, that might be a path. But do you all think
it is riskier?
Do you think there's something else we could do to gain more information?
It's a long shot, but by any chance, can any of you cast a spell to turn the night to day?
No.
I'm afraid that is out of my scope currently.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a third level spell that paladins can cast, but not yet.
Doesn't have third level spells yet.
Either do I. It's almost like we have the same spell progression. Yeah. Okay. So
it's, do you want to risk it, or do you want to try gathering information during the day? But then, if we...
What if instead of fighting them, we tried to track them to where they hide during the day? I don't know, like leave paint sprays so they leave little footprints when they go back?
How do they even leave footprints?
I don't know. It was metaphorical. Sort of. Would that work?
It would need to. I would think we would need to actually find one and follow it. I know stories about the ghosts and things like that, but I don't know how much is true and how much is fairy tale.
So, if we're fighting at night, the biggest problem is like we don't have the most damage variety, or at least I don't have many options.
How much does it cost to get a silver to silver a weapon?
How quick is it to silver a weapon?
It's not quick. It costs an additional. You can silver a single weapon or 10 pieces of ammunition for 100 gold.
Okay, it's a little out of my price range.
And it requires a special service that you would have to go to a larger city to acquire.
No.
So,
even if I can afford it.
Thought, these things aren't interested in the creatures in the forest, or they're not. Either they're not attacking the forest, or they're not interested in the forest. The birds are able to hunt there, and that's why they've stuck around.
Yeah, from what you said, it sounds like they are after people within the town.
So the question is then, where are they hiding?
Yeah,
because I imagine if you were a little like squirrel or something, you're probably not super psyched. Even if you're not being attacked yourself, you're probably not super psyched if the ghost army rides past you every day. Sorry, army.
Is it? You talk to animals. Would they have any idea where they come and go?
If they see them, these
if
things aren't
non-threatening
to your average house cat.
But if it happens on a regular basis, the people will lock themselves indoors. But if the animals see where they come and go,
the animals might know.
Yeah.
I can't really ask them tonight, but that is a good thought for tracking. Also, given that they don't seem to attack animals, we could have, if you're okay with it, we could have our own companions watch from a safe distance, of course.
So we got a cat, a bird, and a horse. I need to go buy a monkey.
Don't buy a monkey. Make friends with a monkey, and then have the monkey lockpick itself out of whatever cage.
Sure, I can teach you.
We just have to find. I'm not even going to entertain that line of thought.
I will help you make friends with a monkey. This is a sincere promise.
And so, roughly this point, you guys sort of looking out, you hear shroom, 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 shroom of windows slamming shut. And just sort of looking out the open window in the room that you guys are in, you see that the sun has just dipped below the horizon.
I'll shut the window.
And there's just a noticeable chill to the air as the sun goes down below the horizon. It's not It's not like the temperature dropped, but it feels like the temperature dropped.
Welcome to the city full of undead, I guess. So what are we doing? We getting some sleep and trying in the morning. We posting.
I want to see if we can see
Animal
what
guard.
we
going out.
Are we on the first? Are we on like the first floor, or like there's a second floor, or
Yeah,
what?
like the second floor.
I would say, at the very least, let's see if we can see anything wandering out there. I mean, they don't. I'm guessing the fact that these people are locking themselves in their houses and stuff. The whites don't come inside.
Did you open a window?
Yeah.
Oh. Give me a perception check.
12.
So
12.
the first thing you notice is that it gets dark fucking quick. The sun actually sets on the other side of the building. So you're just sort of seeing the reflected light of sunset. But like as soon as that reflected light of sunset goes away, pitch black almost instantly. There are no torches, no nothing in the village. Nobody seems to want to draw attention. The only light that you are able to see by is the light of the candles in the room you're in, and the stars. So you have
douse the candles in the room.
Do you say that or do you do it?
Well, say that to the others because I'm looking at the window.
Byron will look to Kinvalar and Miracle and see if they mind or not.
No, that's fine.
Byron douses it. So without the candlelight behind you, you can see a little bit better. But still, you're looking by moonlight. You can't see anything. Like you once your eyes adjust to the moonlight, you can see the village, but you don't see any movement. You don't hear anything. It's just quiet and cold and dark. And Miracle sort of steps up behind you and looks out as well. And you've got dark vision, so it's a little easier for you. It's much easier for you to see. But even then, nothing.
Nothing yet. At least not in the open.
And then after
I would watch for a bit.
After about 15 minutes, you hear what sounds like a whinnying in the distance. Just like a horse crying out. And that's it.
Well, I guess it does make sense. They probably don't set off before sunset.
Other than the distant whinny of a horse, that sounds not quite correct, but you can't really tell how. That's all you can hear, and you don't see anything.
Shall we go?
So my vote is if we are to go out, my vote is to do it closer to dawn than dusk.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We can at least get a few hours rest and get up before dawn.
Yep.
So it's about 8:30ish now. So if you
shut the
you
windows,
would definitely get a long rest before and still wake up before dawn.
Yeah. Shut the windows and then
get an early night.
All right. So you all take a long rest. Wake up before the dawn. Are you ready to go out?
Sure. Sorry.
Okay.
Unrelated.
A group of you, armor up, step out. It's still the cold, dark starlit emptiness of pre-dawn morning. There's no sound, no light. So for a firebolt, it's pitch black.
I do have dark vision. I'm.
Oh yeah, you're a half elf. You're a half elf.
I'm a half elf.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, firing, it's dark. Firing sort of steps out and goes, problem. He pulls out a lantern and lights it, and now the only light that you guys have now is this little lantern hanging off his hip.
It's great.
Where are you going?
Which could you tell which direction we heard the whinny from?
It was in the distance. It
kind of echoes around.
Yeah. It kind of had echoed around by the time you heard it, and you don't hear it anymore, obviously. So.
Well, we're wandering around at night. Let's stand somewhere and wait for Sinis to go.
Well, with the lantern, we're going to draw attention anyways. So, with the light out. So, fortunately, Firen, you are going to be bait.
I'm pretty used to it. Well, if we're after hunters, do we want to get our horses, perhaps?
If you want your horse, you can go for your horse.
I would say head to at least towards the edge of town where it borders the forest. That might be a good bet.
Okay.
He goes and gets Gilded Mane and mounts up.
So I'm assuming we head towards that edge and set up.
Yes.
Okay. Once we've found a place we're somewhat comfortable, I'm throwing down a spike growth.
Okay, so give me a survival check.
Okay.
Find a nice hidden spot.
And I'm going to hide, so I am
17.
So Miracle finds a small looks to be an abandoned garden with a high stone wall that you all can sort of get under and get behind, and it's sort of like along the road coming into town that your figure Firen's going to go to. So you all can sort of climb in there and use that as cover, so you can all make stealth checks to hide.
And throwing down that spike growth.
Yep.
Seriously? Rolled a 2.
Better than most of my rolls.
Kinvalar, give it a stealth check.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
And a 24 from Kinvalar. So you two sort of crouch and put, you're sort of doing the hands over the wall, the Kilroy look as you sort of look out. And Kevlar, meanwhile, has just put his back against the wall and sunk down, so he's completely out of view, looking at the two of you peering over the wall like, what are you doing? And yeah, after a few moments, you hear the of Firen's horse as he gallops past and down the road. Give me perception checks, everybody.
Oh. That's more like my rolls today.
Complete opposite.
Okay. Sounds good. Fire roll today.
Terrible.
So Miracle... Oh, look! An insect. A cockroach. She found a cockroach.
He has found a cockroach.
I said you.
Oh.
I didn't use a gendered term. Yeah, you found a cockroach. Looking at it. And Farbolt, on the other hand, Farbolt and Kinvalar, however, as you're listening to the beat of the hooves, you suddenly hear a chorus of hoofbeats So you're hearing, and and you sort of both look and peer over the edge, and you see, in sort of formation, a crew of 5 ethereal-looking figures riding skeletal war horses, coming down a hill from the high forest, coming down the slightly elevated hill towards Fyron.
Oh, this is not good.
I mean, this is what we were trying to do.
It looks like
Yeah, it seems like everything's working out.
Which direction are they coming from?
They're coming. Looks like they're coming from the high forest. You didn't see where they started. You just saw where they were at. Fyron seems to have noticed them and yanks the reins on Gilded Mane and spins and starts heading off in the opposite direction. Basically taking the left as they're coming in from the right. And a horse chase ensues. Are you guys doing anything to follow or to hinder as the spectral skeletal war horses will be coming into range of your spells in the next turn?
Okay.
I did mention that I was throwing down a spike growth in their path.
I thought you said you were throwing down
knows
around
where it is
you.
and can avoid it.
I thought you said you'd throw down a spike growth around you guys.
No, as a trap.
Okay.
The spell's a trap spell.
Okay.
Put it,
You threw it out in the on the road.
Never.
Okay. Miscommunication. That's fine.
I also was unclear on the whole Fyron was going to ride down the road thing.
So good.
But,
All right. So
where we thought they were likely to appear.
Okay. So Fyron is thinking about where that spike growth is. All right. The rest of you?
I am going to try to position myself in such a way that they will essentially be in a line.
For a lightning bolt, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Firebolt? Are you Kevlar, are you going to do that before or after they hit the spike growth? If they hit the spike growth.
Whichever is more convenient. I feel like after is probably better because otherwise they might turn away from the spike growth.
I mean, before the spike growth. You would probably think
if I
that
hit them before the spike growth, they're more likely to turn and ride away from the spike growth.
That's true. You would also think that if they see the spike growth and turn to avoid it, they wouldn't be in a nice line anymore. So those are your two things to weigh the decision against.
I mean, I know where the spike growth is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm positioning myself at the spike so I can hit it as they hit the spike.
Okay, that works.
I'm going to be near Kinvalar, slightly further along the path so that they would have this. The spike growth would be, I would be behind it where they would have to pass through it first before they reach my position.
Okay.
I'm not too far off from Kinvalar, but...
I'll take a ranged position and ready my bow.
Okay. So I'm going to put you guys on a map. As soon as I arrange everything. Bam. 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 And we're going to say the spiked growth is... How big is the spiked growth area?
It's a 20-foot radius centered on a point within range.
So 4x4.
Oh. And the damage is per 5 feet.
Okay.
Also, I should clarify in case it's necessary. My spell save DC is 12.
All right. So we have you guys on a battle map here. Go ahead and arrange yourselves accordingly to where you would like to be. This is sort of the setup. This is sort of the setup for Fyron's running away, basically.
That looks about right.
Yeah, I'm good being a little further back.
Good enough.
All right, and they have to make a Wisdom Perception check against a DC 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
To determine to notice it, yeah.
Yep.
But it's nighttime, and they're not expecting the road itself to eat them.
And when they roll a natural 1.
Oh.
So.
Gonna be farther ahead here.
All right, so this is how this particular instance plays out. Fyron sees the riders, jockeys off to one side, and sort of arcs his path so that he places the spiked growth area between him and them, and sort of whips the horse and continues on. The riders, seeing him because he's got a lantern on his ass, charge after the light. They seem to be very focused on him and don't seem to notice the spiked growth as the horses hit it. 3 of the horses take damage. They take the damage twice.
Okay, give me a second. Because that first one was a C, not a D.
Yes.
So, did not roll any dice.
So 3 of the
They
horses
take 10 damage.
take 10 damage. And Kindelar, your held action goes off.
Okay. So let's just go ahead, since I don't think Fire Shield will necessarily help much for this, and cast that at a level 4. Yeah, that's taller. 34 damage.
All right.
If they fail their dex saves.
Let's see. Or half damage if they don't. What's the DC? Well, a 5 and a 6 miss. A 5 and a 6 fail. 5 and a 5 fail. And an 11 fails. All right, so all of them fail.
Nice.
So, okay. How much damage was that?
34 lightning.
Wow. No things that are supposed to be a challenge. So as these whites, and you can tell that they're definitely more humanoid but still gaunt. So you're pretty certain they're whites, Firebolt. As they come across the spiked growth, they stop. The 3 of them sort of stop as their horses hit it and look like they're about to pull away, and then a lightning bolt just rocks through all of them. All of the horses die. Just these skeletal war horses that are just sort of are blown apart by this lightning bolt that strikes through them and throws the riders for a loop. 2 of the riders land in the spiked growth, taking 2d4 points of damage.
Four.
And scramble to their feet. Farbolt, did you have a held action?
No, I was.
You're just watching?
Yeah.
All right, Miracle, if you wanted to shoot an arrow, go ahead.
Yep. I'll take one of the ones who's already in the spike growth.
Okay.
24?
24 hits.
8.
So the arrow hits, and he just sort of doesn't react to it.
Yeah.
As he stands up, and they look around to see what's going on, sort of confused, and begin to turn and retreat. And at that point, we're going to go ahead and roll initiative. Because this is going to be over quickly, I think.
17.
The magical power of planning.
Yep. All right, so we have Miracle at a 19, Kevlar at a 17.
Did mine not come through?
It didn't roll, so make sure you select your token before you hit initiative, by the way.
By the way,
go.
we can see the initiative roll.
That's fine.
Okay.
You're supposed to see the initiative.
I know, I was just making sure you knew it wasn't whispering in this case.
that's Firen.
That's Firen's.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's Firen's.
Oh, I didn't realize Firen had an NPC-looking one.
That's because I used all of your character sheets have an NPC template that can be switched to them.
Yep.
And I have a macro that will roll that initiative, which is the same as your normal initiative because it's based off your dex anyways. So.
Okay.
So yeah, Firen's initiative is a 9. That makes Farbolt, your initiative is higher, so your modifier is higher, so you go first.
Okay, so how far away is this guy? No. I'm going to have to move forward a few steps. And I'm going to throw 2 daggers at this first guy.
Okay. Make your attacks. A 9 misses.
9 misses, and yeah.
A 23 hits.
I'm really hoping that hit.
So, and the dagger sinks into their chest.
Does it do anything to him? Does he?
You can't tell. He doesn't seem to react to it. Miracle. Your turn again.
Nailing him again.
An 18 hits. Another arrow. This one strikes right next to the dagger and the other arrow that was already in his chest.
And I have extra attack because level 22.
22 hits. Third arrow. Same spot. All right. Kinvalar. Unless there's anything else you do.
All right. So this is good. This is going to be fun. So I will move sort of in between there. Oh, look. I can still hit all of them with another lightning bolt.
I mean, you don't have to move in between there. You moved literally right there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. 5 foot. Yeah.
Although it's, what's the length on the lightning bolt?
Like
100
120 feet, 100 feet, something like that. 100 feet long and 5 feet wide.
Okay. There you go.
So 28 damage, DC 14 for half.
What's half of that?
14.
That is 14. So it doesn't even matter if they succeed their saving throw. So they sort of turn, dagger, arrow, 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 lightning bolt again, and they just into dust. They're dead.
Ha! Well, that was...
Firen turns around, drawing his sword and lighting it aflame, and then realizes there are no whites left.
Well, nice work.
Well, I see you didn't need my help.
You led them into the trap. That was useful.
Go up to the road. Just look at the road. Did they leave any tracks?
No. They did not leave any tracks, nor did they leave any equipment. All that's left on the ground now are piles of fine dust.
So much for following them back from when they came.
Well, let's get going home. Let's get going to the tavern.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, we can...
Go speak with the Castellan.
Okay.
Red Feather, keep an eye out. If you can see any more of them heading back.
So, you guys head back to the inn.
Okay.
Do you stay for breakfast, or do you just go straight up to the keep?
I want breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you guys are sitting down for breakfast, you do see the brothers of the Noble brothers sort of strapping on their gear and heading out as the sun rises.
Let's kind of catch them.
Continue to
so
document.
where are you heading out? I mean, what direction are you heading out?
They sort of seem they just sort of ignore you and move past.
Yeah.
They seem very preoccupied.
Oh no, I'm not going to press it. Never mind. He says, go back. It's like, good luck with the hunt.
And again, as you guys sit down, again, floating platters come out. Food is deposited on the tables. And you have a lovely breakfast.
Perfect. Well, that went well.
Went much better than I thought it would.
Firen's sort of sitting there eating. Yeah, no, that went much better than anything else we've ever done.
Significantly. By a huge margin.
He eats.
Yup.
After you guys have...
I'll just sort of whisper to Firebolt, am I the only one who thinks Kinvalar's kind of scary now?
Just a little bit.
I mean...
Kinvalar's just sitting there eating.
Yeah.
Very, very polite. So yeah, after you guys finish your breakfast, you head up to the keep. Yep. As you arrive at the keep, you find the door ajar.
Can I do like a tracking survival anything to figure out how it was opened?
Sure. Give me a survival check.
Evan.
It was definitely open from the inside. You sort of peer in and you see this massive wooden bar just sort of strewn on the ground carelessly. It would have had to have been opened from the inside.
Interesting.
Any signs of a struggle?
Investigation check.
I mean, we could knock.
I mean,
20.
the door is slightly ajar. There's no other signs of anything currently. Unless you go inside. Or knock.
Actually, given that part of the keep was even broken up top before, I'm going to ask Red Feather to go scout around in if he needs to.
For what? Was there something in particular you wanted to move
People, conflict, something unusual.
Okay. Fyron just walks up. Fyron looks at the rest of you. We could just knock.
You can just push the door open.
That was the plan.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that there was no signs of struggle at the door. Like he opened it up and something happened.
Doesn't look like there's any signs of struggle at the door.
Push it open. If it's ajar, just.
So Miracle knocks on the door, and Farble walks up and pushes the other side open, or pulls it because it opens outward. And you just hear the sound of the knocker reverberating inside. Open the door. It's dark inside except for a few candles. Inside the keep, it's sort of a dusty-looking foyer with old, like, cobwebbed paintings and carpet on the floor. It looks like it hasn't been particularly well taken care of in years. And as you all sort of wander in, you see there is, just opposite the entryway, there is sort of a banquet hall, which draws your attention. And actually, Red Feather flies into the banquet hall from somewhere and lands on a table, just sort of pecking at the wood. As you all walk in, you see 5 chairs around a cobweb-draped dining table. That it looks like there was used to be very nice, but just cobwebs and dust and debris, and you see bits from where like a wall is collapsed in here. The place looks basically abandoned and dark. The only light in here are candles that have been lit.
Red Feather,
Actually, no,
find anyone?
No light in here at all. There's no light actually here at all. Red Feather squawks a negative.
Okay.
Yeah, you said that like the table and stuff, they were cobweb and covered and stuff like that. So, I've got a really bad feeling about who those whites were.
Fyron sort of thinks for a second. The windows are all bricked up here.
The
Well, save the town.
Lords...
Job accomplished. We should probably leave before the nobles start accusing us of stuff.
That's just it. I think the Hunt Lords might not be the targets of the whites.
Yeah, we know.
Might have been the whites.
Yep.
Farble, you do notice that there is a large treasure chest in the back of the room.
Yeah, and I would absolutely go and look at that and just to look around. And we'll leave in just a bit.
Just a moment.
Just hold on a moment. I'm going to make an investigation check to see if there's anything funky about the chest.
Sure. It is locked, but it doesn't seem to be necessarily trapped.
I'm going to take a few steps back. I'm going to cast Mage Hand and pick the lock with Mage Hand.
Okay. Roll me a Thieves' Tools check.
Yeah, not that bad.
Okay.
So 16.
16, yeah. The lock seems to be a little bit more complicated than this. You're sort of going at it, and you're... No, it doesn't... you can't quite catch it with this.
Okay, so unless anyone has any objections, do it the old-fashioned way. Pull out a crowbar.
You gonna try to break the lock off?
Yeah.
Sure. Give me a strength. Give me an athletics check with advantage because you were using a crowbar.
Is it athletics check?
Yep, with advantage.
Nice.
16. Yeah, you put it down and pop that lock right off.
Okay, pop open anything. What's inside?
Inside, you see a gray leather sack. That looks to be you're not quite certain what kind of leather it is, but you sort of open it up and you see there's 600 gold pieces in it. A leather pouch that holds 6 gems. There is a red, sort of a vibrant red gem, like sort of ruby, that seems to almost glow with an inner fire. There is a weird-looking jug that has multiple necks and corks in it. And there is a robe that has a bunch of weird patches all over it.
So we'll need to get the magical things identified, presuming they are magic. Can I Arcana?
Sure, make an Arcana check. Anyone that wants to look at these things and make an Arcana check can do so.
Actual 20.
So you definitely notice the let's see what everybody else says. So Kinvalar and Miracle, yeah, you both are first immediately drawn to the red gem, the red corundum gem that is in the chest. It looks to be and
don't have advantage.
You don't have advantage, so far you don't know what these are, but it looks to be a red elemental gem.
Ooh.
Which you know that basically you can use an action to break the gem and it will summon an elemental, as if you had cast a conjure elemental spell. This one in particular will conjure a fire elemental.
Yep.
The jug that has many different corks and things on it, Kinvalar, you're not familiar with that, but Miracle, you've seen this before. This is an alchemy jug. Basically, you speak a word and unplug a particular stopper, and it will produce 2 gallons a minute of whatever substance you request.
Okay.
Once it starts producing a liquid, it can't produce a different one or more of one that it has reached its maximum until the next dawn. The maximum amount of liquid depends on what you named. It can produce acid, basic poison, beer, honey, mayonnaise, oil, vinegar, fresh water, salt water, and wine.
I love that mayonnaise is one of those options.
Mayonnaise is one of those options. And then, Kinvalar, you recognize the robe as is Miracle. It is a robe of useful items.
Okay.
Basically, you pull off the patch. It has a series of patches that represent items, and if you pull off the patches, the patch will become that item. It has two each of the following patches: 2 daggers, 2 bullseye lanterns, 2 steel mirrors, 2 10-foot poles, 2 50-foot hempen ropes, and 2 sacks. In addition, it also has... Let me roll. It has 10 other patches that seem to be of various other esoteric things. You're not sure what they will produce.
I'm keeping the jug, and I'll hold up the robe and the gem to the others if they want to take those. And everyone gets 150 gold.
Okay.
Okay. I can take the gem, given that my favorite enemy is... I'm fairly familiar with elementals.
Firen looks
That's
at the
fine.
robe. Firen looks at the robe. It's not quite your style, but you might enjoy it, Kinvalar. And like holds it out to Kinvalar.
We'll see. I'm not exactly. It will not be a regular wear item, but we'll see.
You never know when it'll come in handy.
I can also give you the gem if you'd prefer the shiny thing.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I'm keeping the jug.
Farble just holding the jug. None of these items require attunement, so you don't have to worry about that. And at that point, as you guys are sort of riffling through the stuff, we will call an end to the game. So, say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Adios.
Bye.